A few months ago, I finished my prototype of an endless runner genre game. Then I took about a month off, thinking about what other game I could create, but I decided to try and finish this prototype and attempt to make it for Android. This should be an interesting experience for me, as I haven't worked with Android before and I don't quite understand how it all works. I started with setting up the project for Android, and after looking at a bunch of guides, I began to fill in many different fields and activate various features, without full understanding what they do and why it is done this way and not another. And here was the first problem, because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't manage to package this project for Android. First, there was a problem with the key, then the project simply wouldn't start or wouldn't install on my phone. But somehow I managed to overcome all these problems and finally I was able to play my game on my phone. Since the game was developed for PC, I had no implementation for touchscreen controls. So, to be able to play, I first need to figure out how touchscreen control works in Unreal Engine. I went through a bunch of different guides, but none of it worked for me. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but it just wouldn't work. So I solved this issue with simple buttons that you pressed to turn left or right. The game had a lot of bugs, so I started fixing them. I won't talk about all the bugs, but there were many of them. Next, what I noticed was that the models I used for this game were somehow incorrectly displayed on the Android rendering engine. Here are examples from PC and Android. As I understood, this is due to very complex materials that Android cannot handle. So I had to replace all the cars in the game with others, and I returned to this pack. In my previous video, I mentioned that there is one texture for everything and I don't understand how to interact with it. This pack uses such a texture for everything, and of course, probably can somehow add mask and use it to add a massive, but I don't know how to do that. So I had to figure out it, and now everything works as I needed to. Then I added a save feature to the game, so your best scores wouldn't reset when you restart the game. I also reworked the graphics settings for Android, they are now simpler than before. Car change. First, I added the ability to start the level with different cars. Then, I added a garage to the main menu, where I implemented the ability to push chase and choose a car that you will use in the game. Together with a friend, we made a new UI to make the game look prettier. Just look at this masterpiece. I added buildings on the sides, so there isn't just a black void, but as if you are driving from a small town into a big city. And here is the final result. I really wanted to add a leaderboard and achievements to the game, but the games keep crashing when I call the show external login UI node, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get it to work. If you can help me, you can contact me on my Discord server, the link is in the video description. Also, In the description you can find all the links to the game on the Play Market for Android and the updated version for PC on itch.io and Indiegogo. You can also support me on Patreon, and don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and leave comments. Thank you.